first visit to your gym, Chris, and this is what I'd say is a wall of fame of Yorkshire Boxing, West Yorkshire Boxing in the last 15 to 20 years.
Certainly is, yeah.
You've had some names here, and I tell you, it is one of my favourites, Mark Hobson.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him was at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, about 4 days before Hatton fought Castillo. About 100 degrees at night, and I don't know. I'm not sure how much Mark will remember of that meeting, but that's where I met Mark. But you had some good times with Mark.
Yeah, Mark Hobson was some fighter, a gritty fighter, tall, rangy fighter, 6'5", but he never used it. He just loved to ward it, kid. And I think the best way to describe Mark Hobson is that he lives fast and he parties hard, and still to this day he's that same kind of kid. But he was the kind of kid who always fought hard as well, and had some really grueling battles. Ended up with Frank Warren and won world title with Frank Warren in his later career. But ultimately, overachieved really. People writ him off early when he was a kid, but really tough character, mentally strong, physically tough, and always could have a good account of himself.
Very unlucky. Got to be all known for the 2 fights of Enzo Macronelli, but of course the fight that got away was the one with David Hay that was all announced and signed, wasn't it? And it fell away, didn't it? David got injured, was it?
Yes, I believe Tony Bellew explained it recently when he says, you pulled out of the Mark Hobson fight when I inspired you, and that's the story we got told. But that would have been a great opportunity for Mark, and that was the right time to fight David Hay because he was beatable back then. He believed in his own height, but he only had 4 rounds in him. And I honestly believe that Mark Hobson would have got up off the floor a couple of times and he would have outfought David Hay at that time. And it's a shame it never happened for him, but it is what it is. He had a fantastic career, won Lonsdale belt 7 times. So
you forget that things. And is he doing well in life now?
He is, yeah. He's a bailiff, and I believe he still loves his job. And I've seen 1 or 2 clips of him doing his debt collecting, and they're funny. He's a really funny Yorkshire lad. Who likes a beer, and he's retired, and he loves life.
Good man. There's your own son,
Tyrone. Tyrone.
He's the one that sticks out. This is Tyrone. How old was he here? This is James Hare, British welterweight champion.
That's Tyrone when he was 10. James Hare went into the Commonwealth, and he's won the EU there. And that's Josh Whale. And as you can see, he's probably bigger than he is now. He's taller than me and James there.
How old was Josh?
He'd have been about 13 there.
He looks bigger than he does now, Josh. He must have stopped growing at 13. That's all I can think.
I think he boxed at around 9 stone there, so I think he probably physically bigger then than he is now. But great amateur, they're both great amateurs.
Your memories of James Hare?
Probably the most talented boxer I've seen in Britain, really. If he'd have fulfilled the ambitions that many people believed that he had, it would have been a really special talent. This year was the world title fight against Roman Zuman.
Oh yeah,
he wasn't unbeaten. Russian. He was Russian world amateur champion. He was 26-1, I believe. He'd had a close one with Jawaid Khaliq. And James won every round against him, played with him.
And didn't he lose to David Barnes, James? And that was
that was on a massive show at Halifax, Frank Warren show, the thing about James was there were fighters who he did fancy and fighters who he didn't, and he had the beating of all of them, if I'm honest with you. But David Barnes was one of them names that always stuck in his head. He'd heard the name before, and he always knew it was going to be a tough fight. But I think Barnes that night had the performance of his career, if I'm honest with you. I don't think he ever produced out like that again.
Is James doing okay in life now?
Yeah, good. He's always been a grafter. He comes from a family of grafters. His father's a grafter, and they're always involved in something. They're always digging roads and putting bathroom suites in, or putting axles on cars, or whatever they're doing. He's always getting his hands dirty, and he's always grafting. He's an hard worker, and that's what he was as a boxer. But a fantastic talent on his best day, really.
Another one of his success stories, Jawaid Khaliq.
Yeah,
I know Jawaid's done well for himself in life. I've been to Nottingham to see him, and you must have had him 10, 11 IBO fights, was it? And he earned well from those.
Yeah, he did, and he won the platinum ring for 9 defences. Me and Tommy managed him. We were with the Shinfields, and Fidel Castro were down there training him. And we've got him there. We've got him there in South Africa when he knocked out Jan Bergman. Terrific fighter, Jawaid. He could really dig. At the time, there was Neil Sinclair about, and it was always like, who's the best? Neil, James, Jawaid. Never got to fight each other, But Jawaid was certainly the hardest puncher out of the three of them, and often had to get off floor to do it. He was one of them kind of kids, and he had a massive following in Nottingham. He beat some really good names, and it was a shame that the system that's in place now wasn't in place then, because he was genuinely number 5 in the world. And if they could have, if the transition to fight in America was as easy as it is now, or to bring the Americans here, he would have definitely won other world titles. You know, he was that talented.
He's one who was talented. Dale
real
Robinson.
talent.
You know, should he have won up being a world champion?
Oh, yeah, I mean, if ever a talent got away, I suppose Dale would have won. He just got so much so young, so early. I mean, his pro debut, we fought a 7-7 super bantam. He were only flyweight. Kid had just done 8 threes with the world champion, and they said, "Why are you taking that?" I said, "Because he'll beat him, and he needs to move quick. Because flyweight, you can't mess about." The truth of the matter is, he did get into 12 rounds within half a dozen 7 fights, and he was winning Commonwealth titles, and it just all came quick for him. But also, you know, he got a lot of sponsors, a lot of people wanted to party with him, and you know, and he did enjoy a party, but he enjoyed his boxing as well. And the unfortunate thing is, I think in life you've got to make a choice between the two, because you can enjoy the boxing, but you can't compete at the top level without, you know, getting rid of the partying thing. But he would have been a fantastic talent. He'd definitely won a world title if he'd have really dedicated himself to it.
You got fighters like your son Tyrone, who's totally dedicated themselves to boxing.
Yeah.
How frustrating is it when you see a talent like get away, and when you're seeing it every day in the gym, and then they're coming on a Monday and you've heard what's gone on the weekend? How frustrating and annoying is it for you as a trainer?
I mean, it's not as frustrating now, because obviously I've been doing it for 20 odd years with boxing, and then before that for 10 years with Thai boxing. But yeah, you hear the stories about what these kids are doing, and I've heard them stories about all these kids several times. But you do give them a bit of leeway, but you hope that you can straighten them out somewhere along the lines. But you know, you look for the jewel in the crown who maybe commits himself totally to boxing. And they are out there, you know, and it's a pleasure to work with them guys. But it was a pleasure to work with Dale and James and Mark and Jawaid. They were all great fighters. And
Final one, that's the last I was going to mention.
Yeah.
Gary Sykes.
Gary Sykes.
Very good, top end, high end British operator, isn't he, Gary?
Yeah. But kind of flash in the pan, it kind of came, 18 months, he stormed it all, everybody were talking about him, and it came and went. He beat Andy Morris down at Huddersfield Sports Centre.
Great performance that night, Friday night, I remember I was there.
Fantastic fight that was. And it was close, but I did think Gary had won. He was trained by Julian McGowan and as an amateur by Keith Tate. And really hard trainer, really dedicated when he were on the ball, but yeah, another one who liked a bit of partying. But then he went from that defence with Morris to Kevin O'Hara, and then ended up with that one with Carl Johansson, which was...
great fight, that was.
Yeah, Matchroom Show.
Liam Walsh was on that.
Yeah.
Allister Warren, one of your...
Allister Warren.
I couldn't call Allister a journeyman, because he goes around to every fight and tries his nuts off every week, doesn't he?
Well, that was a home fight that we'd got in an opponent for him, but he still made hard work of it, because he just loves the war. He's been in this morning before Tyrone and then we're in, and he's, you know, he's that kind of kid who's going to go out and he's going to give 300%. It really is a bit, especially in that department, in that you see a lot of kids and they'll learn to be a bit smarter, they'll learn to do this or learn to do that, or they'll box a bit more. Allister Warren just turns up every time, it doesn't matter who the kid is, he ain't interested. And he's got a fight before Christmas and he's going to turn up that night as well. And what will be, will be.
A few more gaps on the wall here. Who would be the pictures of the future here? One with Tyrone with a Lonsdale belt outright and a world title belt around his waist, will we have?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, I'm certain with this deal with BT Sport and Frank Warren, I think that's going to be great for British boxing. You know, I think last couple of years have been frustrating for Tyrone, because he's kind of kid who likes to fight a lot, and he's in the gym a lot, and we've trained since last December to this December, and we've only had 2 fights. And we weren't promised anything because we weren't with anybody, but there were a 90% promissory sort of thing in place where you'll be on here, or you'll be on here, or you'll be on here, and we never got them fights. And, you know, it's been frustrating for him, but I think Frank Warren and BT Sport, I think, you know, the future's, like Taran said, onwards and upwards, but I think, yeah, world titles, European title if it comes along, but certainly we want to be looking at world titles for him.
Be nice to get the Lonsdale belt outright, but with this rule with mandatory challenge, one defence has to be a mandatory challenge. It makes it difficult for all champions now who are looking to progress quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if they make any special exemptions, because they actually nominated Chris Jenkins twice. They actually nominated Willie Lemond. We've never picked an opponent yet. And obviously we've just had a pull out with Jack Cattrall while he's getting his training situation in place. So I don't know if the board will make a special situation, because the belt's special, because it's a brand new belt, super lightweight belt. The only fights on it are Tyrone's, and there's only 3 fights on it. A 4th fight on there would be perfect to top off that that part of his career. But if we've been fighting for them belts now for 18 months. If someone else came up for world level eliminator, I think he'd love to get in that sort of mix now, Yeah.